Many Mamia will trigger this conversation. I have a need from Enron. Mrs. Yaa Essah Armah, I head of Academic Quality Monitoring and Evaluation, Ghana Communication Technology University. At least she's been following the conversation this morning, listening to the submissions we're making, and the fact that the minister says and admits to say there are challenges with the system, and that they are now looking for some partners to help them meet and mitigate some of these concerns that we are all raising in the studio. Good morning, Mrs. And thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Sammy, and thank you for having me. Good morning to your viewers and your listeners as well.
All right, Mrs. Chino, Kakra, Anna.
I chini dia ya de frafra.
Frafra now come on in your day. Mrs. How do you feel about article has triggered this major conversation we are having? The minister this morning is speaking to some of the concerns you raised.
I think that the free SH policy, it's a policy in the right direction, especially for a developing country like Ghana. We'll share UN SDG goals now, goal 4. Now it talks about access and equitable education. And the minister I think that it's a step in the right direction. We'll share what is happening with the free SH policy now. If you speak to the head teachers, if you speak to teachers, school administrators, they will tell you it's a very good policy, it's a laudable policy. However, challenges now has to do with the implementation of the policy. And they are going to put in place systems to check, especially shortages, which has even erupted this whole case with the Abri girls issue now. And it's not an isolated case. I think that is a step in the right direction. It's not an isolated case. When you say, usually the government has good intentions, but the delays, is what causes them problems, and it affects teachers, it affects students, and which head teacher will not be in the best position to do what is best for their institution. And the system, but and a problem. And it's not just about that. This free SHS has caused an increase in enrollment. That means more people in your opportunity, say at least SSD, say, free SHS nibi, which has improved, not just say manpower or Ghana, but to the extent that there are challenges which are limiting its progress, then
to review or not to review?
Simple answer, review. Because what is the use of a mind that does not change? OSHA, any policy that is implemented, it's geared towards a specific need. Now, you share the need that free SH policy is here to solve, which is obia. No matter your socio-cultural background, your economic background, you should have access at least to secondary education. And to that extent, if the implementation is having challenges now, we mean that let's call back our stakeholders, let's engage them, let's talk to parents, let's talk to the teachers, let's talk to CHAS, let's find out what are the challenges they are experiencing and what we can do to support them. It's not an isolated case. OSHA, there have been several consultants, there have been several reports that have gone, and they all detail some of these challenges. And I'm happy that the minister is reacting positively to it. But I would also suggest that further work should be done. Now, some of the issues, and especially very, very key issues, which has to do with teacher motivation. Say, first or class, 50 students, but to say, it's about 100 students, the same teacher, the same pay, everything. And to share some of these areas need to be looked at critically.
All right, now, final 2 points on Sunday in Komotucheno Abanewi. One has to do with the position. You said that you are for the position of a review. But there are also the proponents who say, let's fix as we go. And that's why.
Definitely, a review does not mean say a review means that as we implement the policy, we are taking a look at the loopholes and we are fixing it as we go along. That's exactly what it means. Say this system, for instance, that the minister is saying he put in place to alert the ministry of any shortages, it's a very good step in the right direction, which means say at least that challenge that school head teachers have been experiencing will be eliminated. But at the end of the day, because the benefits are enormous. Just
Yeah.
but no mu niska at least SS no.
If I were to rephrase,
because not mami niska. So it's a very good policy. It's helping, and so it should continue. But definitely, we should be looking at reviewing it as we go along.
Okay, so at this point, let's ask ourselves: when we talk about a review, what do we mean? Are we talking about a stakeholder engagement, some dialogue, some conferences? What do we mean?
Exactly the point. We share free SHS policy now. For the implementation of it in 2018, it was put together by major stakeholders. But when you go down to the schools, a lot of the schools will tell you that we didn't know about it. Or sometimes even when the government wants to implement something, they will just tell you, do this next semester, say, double track, say. So at the end of the day, is it helpful? You need to engage your stakeholders. You need to talk to them. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones implementing what you wish, your vision for the country. And you need to sit with them, get their buy-in, get their mind on various aspects of the policy at the end of the day. So stakeholder engagement is number one, but also financing, which is why I'm excited about what the minister is saying. Say because we share, for instance, the removal of the PTA dues now. A lot of projects have come to a standstill because a lot of them were using the PTA dues. Now, if there's no longer PTA dues, what arrangement is in place to ensure that projects will continue, to ensure that at least the school doesn't come to a standstill? So some of these things are also very, very important for the school.
Final question, the fact is stakeholders, be it heads of these assisted secondary schools, teachers, one more intimate enkasa about these challenges publicly. But for instance, look at Daily Graphica. The Daily Graphic is unable to name, but it's saying sources. Should we be concerned about this development?
I think that I will consider it as one of the challenges. One say a lot of our education policies are also politically incited. And no head teacher wants to be in the bad books of the government in power of the day. And fortunately, I had an interaction with one head teacher like that. And you'll be catch you. Say, who criticize ya? Then they victimize you. It's a challenge that we are currently facing, and I think that the ministry and government as a whole should take it up. Say that openness, say, yeah, when you criticize, it's not that you are trying to limit them or you are trying to be an enemy of progress, as I put it, but you are really caring about the system. So definitely there has to be an avenue. Straightforward, say, yeah, it might not work, but systematically there should be an open door policy where heads can walk into the ministry, talk to the minister, talk to the various agencies, and let them know some of their challenges are, to the extent that it's like a safe space or behind being victimized because of their opinions about some of these policies. The head teachers, they like the idea. In fact, most of them like the idea, but because of the challenges, it makes them also look as if they can't handle matters. And for a leader, that is the problem. What they don't want is to appear incompetent. And it is because of the way the policy has been implemented that is causing it to look like that.
Yeah, and I is Waji and Menani Dinkomo.
And that's the Medasi degree.
Mrs. Yaa Essah Armah, Niano, Edi, and Komono, or throw peace be our daily graphic mo and ra. And we thought it wise to continue and sustain that conversation.